I've often said that pro-choice really with Democrats seems to be limited just to abortion. And as we'll see here, once again, my body, my choice is by no means a universal principle with these people, as it is with me and other libertarians, ANCAPs, voluntarists. It should be your body, your choice on everything. That's what it should be. So, yeah. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, is pro-choice on abortion and nothing else. And this is about a new California law that amends the state's ban on out-of-state doctors practicing medicine to allow doctors from Arizona to perform abortions for patients who are also from Arizona. Years ago, I made this video. I'm still kind of proud of it. It's a little out of date because I made it before Obamacare. And I was making it so, look, we don't need Obamacare. Here's what we do. It's called How to Fix Healthcare Without Spending a Dime. And one of the things I talked about in that video was exactly this. Allow people to purchase healthcare and health insurance from out of state. But they won't do it. Nope, gotta restrict it to the states. Even though interstate commerce should be up to Congress, and properly what that means. It's regulate interstate commerce, which if you've seen my other videos, you know at the time regulate meant to make regular. They wanted commerce among the states to be regular, to be happening all the time. Well, restrictions like this just make it not regular. So Congress is supposed to step in and say, no, you can't do that. This has to be regular, and they're not doing it. All right, California has some of the nation's toughest restrictions on the interstate practice of medicine. With some very limited exceptions, the state requires that doctors offering any sort of treatment, care, or consultation, can't even talk to them, to California patients be licensed in California. While the rest of the country is changing regulations to accommodate telemedicine, California forbids out-of-state specialists from doing even remote follow-up appointments or consultations with their California patients. So, Senate Bill 233 will let out-of-state doctors quickly get California medical licenses to serve patients there. A little bit of a catch. The doctors have to be from Arizona. And they can only provide abortion-related services temporarily to patients who are also from Arizona. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? So this was made in response to an April Arizona Supreme Court decision to allow the state's long-standing near-complete ban on abortion to go back into effect. Yes, this is abortion grandstanding, nothing more. They made this decision and Newsom was like, all right, women's reproductive rights, do this. That's all it is. Arizona has since amended its abortion laws to be more permissible. Newsom's signing of SB 233 comes a little too late to impact the immediate issue it was passed to address. That hasn't stopped the governor from taking a victory lap. And Newsom said, we refuse to stand by and acquiesce to their oppressive and dangerous attacks on women. California stands ready to protect reproductive freedom. Yeah, but do you? Do you really? For pro-life people, myself included, this is the author, not me, abortion is a legitimate subject of legal restrictions and prohibitions. That's a position shared by many libertarians in good standing, and from the pro-life perspective, California's effort to undermine another state's restrictions on abortion is condemnable all on its own. Yep, sorry dude, that's the beauty of a free market. Someone's behaving like an asshole, you go to someone else. Even if they're in another state. But even pro-choice people, like me, should be maddened by the state's incredibly selective liberalization of restrictions on out-of-state doctors practicing medicine in California. For anything! not just abortions, anything. If a doctor licensed in Arizona is capable of performing an abortion in California, that same doctor should, ipso facto, also be capable of offering other types of medical care as well. Certainly, there can be no legitimate health or safety reason why that doctor should be allowed to perform abortions, but not less risky or invasive medical procedures. Of course, there's no political capital in that. Even if there were, that can't explain why California's new law would apply only to Arizona doctors and patients. Do Oregon's permissive abortion regulations make Oregon physicians somehow unable to perform abortions in California? Clearly, the point of California's new law is designed only to troll Arizona Republican lawmakers. Exactly what it is. It's an election year, you know. And one could maybe tolerate California's law as the troll it is, if the state didn't also disrespect and deny Californians' ability to make their choices on medical care in so many other ways. And he talks about the case of Shelley Horowitz, who's forced by California's telemedicine restrictions to travel from her home in rural Northern California to Oregon just to do phone conversations with her Portland-based hemophilia specialist. So she can't even talk to him on the phone. She has to get in the car, cross the border, and then call him. How dumb is that? And Horowitz said, "It's my body and my health care." Yeah, but they don't really believe that, do they? Only in abortion. Only in abortion, she said, "I should be able to choose to go to a provider I trust. I don't like the fact that my state is limiting my ability to connect with and follow up with a provider of my choice." And she's suing to overturn California's restrictions on out-of-state medical consultations. Good for her. Hope she wins. Newsom's rhetoric about reproductive freedom and protecting women's choices rings pretty hollow in this context. Only in the issue of abortion is he and California policymakers generally willing to respect one's freedom to receive medical care of their choice. When it comes to the state's voluminous other restrictions on patients' ability to consume medical services of their choice, the governor's concern for freedom and choice evaporates. Because he doesn't really care about freedom and choice. This is manipulation, people. That's what they're doing. Women, when they're screeching about your reproductive rights, oh, the Republicans taking your reproductive rights, they're manipulating you. They're putting you in a box and leaving this one tiny little slit in the box where you can have a little bit of freedom, putting you in the rest of the box. Big box, big restricted box. You got this tiny little hole in it and say, "Hey, we're for your freedoms." No, you're not. No, you're not. And people need to wake up to that. Thank you so very much for watching. Comments for the comment god, shares for the share throne. Please hit like, subscribe, and the bell. And as always, donate.pagosity.tv. All sorts of ways to donate to keep this channel going. PayPal, Venmo, cryptocurrency. And you can also become a regular subscriber at Patreon, Subscribestar, and Discord and get special features like getting these videos early and without ads. So please go check that out. Thank you all of those who have supported me. Thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, stay strong and be free.